The drinking party ended at 1 a.m. Reeking of alcohol, I fumbled for my keys, opened the door, and found the living room completely dark. Only a dim bedside lamp shone through the crack in the master bedroom door. I changed my shoes very quietly, but I still disturbed the people inside. "You're back?" The voice was cold and clear, like an ice cube hitting the ground. "She is my wife, Zhou Jing." I grunted in agreement, took off my coat and tossed it onto the sofa. The collar of my shirt was already ripped open, and I had no idea where my tie was in some private room. I staggered into the bedroom. Zhou Jing was leaning against the headboard reading a book, or rather, pretending to read a book. She was wearing a light purple silk robe, very thin and close-fitting. The light shone from her side and behind, clearly outlining her exquisite curves. The neckline of her robe was rather low, and with each breath, the dazzlingly white skin on her chest rose and fell slightly. Her hair was long, black, and smooth, and was casually draped over her shoulders, with a few strands falling down and obscuring half of her face. "But I know that there's definitely not a good expression on that face right now. You drank so much again." She turned a page of the book without even lifting her eyelids. "It's just a social obligation, there's no way around it." I let out a burp and walked towards her. The closer you get, the clearer her faint fragrance becomes, a blend of shower gel and her natural scent, a million times better than the perfumes of the women at the party. I sat down on the edge of the bed, and the mattress sank in. She finally frowned and moved to the side, seemingly trying to avoid the smell of alcohol on me. "Go take a shower," she commanded. "Wait a minute." I chuckled and, emboldened by the alcohol, reached out to put my arm around her waist. Her waist was so slender that I could almost feel the warmth of her skin through the thin silk. But as soon as my hand touched her, she slapped it away. "Zhao Yu, what's wrong with you? You're drunk." She finally looked at me directly, her eyes filled with disgust and coldness. I'm not crazy." My tongue stammered, "Jingjing, we haven't, for so long. I'm tired." She interrupted me, closed the book, and slammed it onto the bedside table. Just as she was putting the book down, the screen of her phone, which was placed next to her, suddenly lit up. A WeChat message popped up. The note was very simple, just one word, "Wind." I didn't see the content clearly before the screen went dark. Zhou Jing's movements visibly stiffened. She quickly grabbed her phone, glanced at it, and then swiftly turned off the screen and slammed it face down on the table. This little gesture chilled me to the bone even more than when she slapped my hand away earlier. The effects of the alcohol wore off almost instantly. "Who is it? It's so late." I stared at her. "One customer." She pulled up the covers, lay down, and turned her back to me. "A client? A client named Wind?" I sneered. She didn't answer, her body was just tense. I stared at her taut back beneath her robe. Those beautiful lines now seemed ironic to me. We've been married for 3 years, and the relationship has gone from being inseparable to being as cold as ice all within just 1 year. I admit that I'm busy with work and have many social engagements, so I often don't get home until late at night. But what about her? She became increasingly strange that year as well. He often comes home late, ignores me, and we haven't had any in-depth conversations for almost 2 months. I used to comfort myself by thinking that she was just tired from work or that she had reached a plateau in her life. But that wind, like a thorn, pierced my heart. I didn't move, I just sat on the edge of the bed, the alcohol mixed with a nameless anger rising up. "Zhao Yu, if you're not going to take a shower, then get out and sleep outside." Her muffled voice came from under the covers. I took a deep breath, suppressed my anger, and stood up. "Fine, I'll get lost." I slammed the door into the second bedroom, collapsed onto the bed, and my mind was filled with that wind. Damn it, I've had enough of this life. 2. I woke up the next day with a splitting headache. I opened my eyes and saw that the curtains in the second bedroom didn't block out much light, and the sunlight was already glaring. I checked my phone and it was almost 10 o'clock. Oh no, I'm late for work. I sat up with a start. The consequence of a hangover was that my brain felt like a complete mess. The living room was quiet. I slipped on my slippers and went outside, but Zhou Jing was no longer home. The dining table was empty, there wasn't even a glass of water, let alone breakfast. That feeling of irritability in my heart came back. I went into the master bedroom to change my clothes and opened the bathroom door to wash up. The sink was a mess, filled with the bottles and jars she had used the night before. I casually pulled open the cabinet behind the mirror to get my toothbrush, but then I froze. In the cabinet, besides my razor, there was also a set of men's skincare products, which looked quite expensive. I didn't buy it, and I never used this thing. I picked up the bottle of aftershave, took a sniff, and smelled a very fresh woody scent. Last night's wind. My head is buzzing. Zhou Jing, she really has someone else outside? I tried hard to recall last night's drinking party. The client was an older man surnamed Wang, with a prominent beer belly, thinning hair, and an oily face when he smiled. After a few rounds of drinks, old Wang put his arm around my shoulder and said lecherously, "Little Zhao, your aloof wife is truly a stunner." I smiled and said, "President Wang, you flatter me." "That's just her temper, she's always so cold." Old Wang chuckled, "I love this kind of icy beauty, she's got guts." "Little Zhao, if you can't handle her, I'll teach her a lesson, brother." I just assumed he was drunk and talking nonsense, and laughed it off. Looking back now, I realized there was a hidden meaning in his words. Could it be that old Wang knows something too? I took a shower, feeling upset, and changed my clothes. The reflection in the mirror showed me with dark circles under my eyes and a haggard appearance. I grabbed my car keys and rushed out the door. I need to find out if I, Zhao Yu, have really been cuckolded. 3. I arrived at the company at 11 o'clock. I slipped into my workstation with my head down, and before I could even sit down properly, the internal phone rang. She is my immediate supervisor, Su Qing. "Zhao Yu, come to my office for a moment." Su Qing's voice always had an indescribable magnetism, a little hoarse and a little charming. I sighed, straightened my tie, and forced myself to walk toward the manager's office. Su Qing's office is in a corner, and the blinds are always half drawn. I knocked on the door. "Enter." As I pushed open the door, a rich aroma of coffee mixed with the scent of high-end perfume wafted towards me. Su Qing was sitting behind her large boss's desk, looking down at the documents. She wore a burgundy silk shirt today, with the top 2 buttons undone, revealing a small patch of delicate skin. The shirt was made of a very close-fitting material, which tautly outlined her impressive bust. Her lower body was covered by a black bodycon skirt, and her 2 long, straight legs were crossed and wrapped in thin black stockings. When she heard me come in, she slowly raised her head, casually tossing her long, wavy hair to one side. Her features were striking, especially her eyes, which were slightly upturned at the corners, giving the impression of hooks when she looked at people. "You're late by a whole morning, Zhao Yu. You've lost your perfect attendance bonus again this month." Her red lips parted slightly, her tone revealing neither joy nor anger. "Sorry, Sister Su, I drank too much with President Wang last night and overslept." I kept my head down. "Mr. Wang?" Su Qing raised an eyebrow. "Oh, that old Wang. How's the deal going?" Still negotiating." "Zhao Yu." Su Qing stood up, walked around the table, and came to me. She was half a head shorter than me, but her high heels gave her a powerful presence. She walked up to me, almost touching me. I could smell a stronger perfume on her, and I could feel the warmth of her breath. "Mr. Wang's order is very important to our department's performance this quarter." She looked up at me, her moist eyes slightly narrowed. "Don't mess this up for me." I'll try my best." I felt a little uncomfortable under her gaze and subconsciously took a half step back. Su Qing took a step forward, her voluptuous body almost touching my chest. She suddenly bent down and straightened my crooked tie. This movement caused her neckline to open slightly, and when I looked down, I could see a deep cleavage. My breath hitched. "Zhao Yu." Her fingers were icy cold, and she brushed against my Adam's apple, seemingly unintentionally. "I know you've been having some trouble at home lately. Things aren't going well with your wife, right?" I was startled. "Sister Su Qing, you." Never mind how I knew. She chuckled softly and straightened up. I just wanted to remind you that a man's career should come first. If you don't handle things well at home, it will affect your work. She paused, then leaned closer and lowered her voice. I know old Wang is a womanizer. But sometimes, when it comes to business, you have to sacrifice something. Your wife is so beautiful, if you have trouble, I can give you some ideas. Her words were like a venomous snake, slithering into my ears. What does she mean? Does she want me to use Zhou Jing to exchange for the order? Or, is she implying that she can help me? With herself? Looking at Su Qing's beautiful yet suggestive face, I felt a wave of nausea, yet also a strange heat. This female boss is much hotter than Zhou Jing, who's like an iceberg. 4. I practically fled Su Qing's office. Her words upset me. What does sacrifice something mean? What does she take me, Xiaoyu, for? But then I thought, Zhou Jing might have already cheated on me, so why am I pretending to be a chaste and virtuous man? I got angrier and angrier, so I simply took the afternoon off. I drove aimlessly through the streets. I need to figure out what Zhou Jing is doing. I dialed Zhou Jing's number. She answered after it rang for a long time. Hello? It was still that same indifferent tone. Where are you? I tried to keep my voice calm. Going to work. Something wrong? Nothing, just asking if you're coming home for dinner tonight. There was a few seconds of silence on the other end. No, I have a social engagement. Another social engagement? I couldn't help but raise my voice. You're a designer, where do you get so many social engagements? Zhao Yu, are you sick? Are you checking up on me? Her voice turned cold. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Beep beep beep. She hung up. I slammed my fist on the steering wheel. Okay, so you have social engagements? I'd like to see where those engagements are going. I drove to a coffee shop near Zhou Jing's company, ordered a coffee, and stared intently at the company's exit. Zhou Jing's company closes at 5:30. At 5:40, I saw her. She changed out of her business attire and into a beige dress with a thin trench coat over it. Her waist was slender, and she walked with a graceful sway. Instead of driving her red pony, she got into a ride-hailing car. I immediately started the car and followed at a distance. The car headed west and entered a high-end villa area that I had never been to before. I know this area the housing prices are outrageously high, and the residents are all either rich or powerful. What is she doing here? The ride-hailing car stopped in front of one of the villas. Zhou Jing got out of the car, entered the password as if she knew the way well, the door opened, and she went inside. I parked my car in a dark place, my heart pounding. Is this the home of Feng? Could this be their marital home? No, it's their adultery room? I dared not get too close and could only wait in the car. The sky gradually darkened. I didn't eat dinner, and my stomach is burning. About 2 hours later, the villa door opened. Zhou Jing came out. There was a man beside her. The man was wearing a casual suit, was very tall, and wore gold-rimmed glasses. He looked quite refined. The two people stood at the door, seemingly talking to each other. The man reached out, seemingly wanting to touch Zhou Jing's hair, but Zhou Jing turned her head away. The man smiled and didn't insist any further. Then, I saw a scene that made my eyes widen in horror. Zhou Jing seemed a little unsteady on her feet and swayed slightly. The man quickly caught her by the waist. Although it only lasted a few seconds, Zhou Jing quickly straightened up and distanced herself from him. But that gesture, that intimate helping hand, completely ignited my passion. I gripped the steering wheel so tightly that my knuckles turned white. That man is Feng? Zhou Jing, you're really something else. 5. I don't know how I managed to drive the car home. My mind was filled with the image of Zhou Jing being supported by that man. I rushed into the house, but Zhou Jing hadn't returned yet. I sat in the dark living room, like a statue. He smoked one cigarette after another, and the ashtray quickly filled up. It was almost 11 o'clock when I heard the sound of a key turning in the door from the entryway. Zhou Jing is back. She turned on the light and was clearly startled to see me sitting on the sofa. Why didn't you turn on the light? You scared me to death. She patted her chest and changed her shoes. She seemed to be in a good mood today, with even a faint smile on her face. That smile, at this moment, seemed incredibly jarring. Where did you go? I asked, my voice hoarse like sandpaper. Zhou Jing paused for a moment, her smile instantly vanishing. Didn't I say? It's a social engagement. A social engagement? I stood up and approached her step by step. A social engagement in the villa area? With a man wearing gold-rimmed glasses? Zhou Jing's face turned pale instantly. You're following me, her voice was shrill. If I hadn't been following you, I would never have known my wife was so capable. I sneered. Who is that man? That phone? Zhou Jing's body began to tremble, not from fear, but from anger. Zhao Yu, you're absolutely unreasonable. I'm unreasonable? I grabbed her wrist, so hard that she hissed. You're keeping a man on the side, and you call me unreasonable? Whose men's skincare products are in the bathroom cabinet? Whose villa is that? What's your relationship with him? I lost control and yelled at her. Let go of me. Zhou Jing struggled violently, her eyes red. Zhao Yu, you bastard. I'm a bastard? Then what are you? I held her wrist tightly. Have you been wanting to divorce me for a long time so you could run off with him? Yes. She suddenly stopped struggling, tilted her head back, and glared at me with hatred in her eyes. I just want a divorce. I've had enough of you. Zhao Yu, let's get a divorce. I was stunned when she shouted those words. I thought she would try to argue, panic, or beg me. But she didn't. She felt only hatred and resolute determination. I almost lost control, really, I almost slapped him. But I held back. I abruptly shook off her hand, and she stumbled and bumped into the shoe cabinet. Divorce. I gasped for breath. Fine. Zhou Jing, you've got it. Divorce is fine, but you'll leave with nothing. Why? She roared, her eyes red-rimmed. This house is marital property. Because you cheated on me. I pointed at her nose. Zhou Jing, let me tell you, I have evidence. If you don't want to be ruined, you'd better sign the papers and get out. I was just saying that in anger. I didn't have any damn evidence. But Zhou Jing's reaction was beyond my expectations. She didn't argue with me, but just bit her lip tightly, her body trembling even more violently. Her expression suggested that she had tacitly agreed. My heart sank to the bottom. 6. We parted on bad terms that night. I slammed the door and went to the second bedroom, and didn't sleep all night. The next morning, I went to the company with dark circles under my eyes. Su Qing saw me and raised an eyebrow. What's wrong? Didn't you sleep well last night? Did you quarrel with your wife again? I wasn't in the mood to pay attention to her and gave a perfunctory Zhao Yu. Su Qing followed me into my office in her high heels. I have a gathering tonight. You're coming with me. What kind of scheme? Old Wang's scheme. Su Qing's expression turned serious. He seems to know something. He called me last night and subtly hinted that your wife seems a bit restless. My heart skipped a beat. What else did he say? He didn't say it explicitly. But it seemed like he wanted to control you. That old lecher. Su Qing pouted, be careful tonight, don't let him find anything to use against you. I was extremely agitated. The problems at home haven't been resolved yet, and now work is adding to the troubles. I was restless all day. That evening, I went to a drinking party with Su Qing. It was the same private room, and the same group of people. As soon as old Wang saw me, he gave me a greasy grin. Oh, little Zhao's here. You don't look too well today? Is it a problem with your sex life? The private room erupted in laughter. Su Cheng smoothed things over, saying, "Mr. Wang, is Xiaoyu inside your head? You know that all along. Come on, let's have a drink." After a few rounds of drinks, old Wang started acting up again. He brought his wineglass closer to me and said, "Xiao Xiao, I'm not trying to be mean, but you need to keep a close eye on your wife, that icy beauty. I've heard she's been getting quite close to a doctor lately." My hand gripping the wineglass tightened suddenly. "Mr. Wang, what do you mean?" "Nothing." Old Wang chuckled, "Just reminding you. That doctor, I think he's a gynecologist?" My mind went blank. A gynecologist? Zhou Jing went to see a gynecologist? Why? Did she cheat on her husband and get some kind of illness? The more I think about it, the more disgusted I feel. Su Qing kicked me under the table, signaling me to calm down. She raised her glass. "Mr. Wang, your information is really well informed. But let's not worry about what's going on between that young couple. Here, let me toast you." Su Qing wore a black V-neck dress tonight, revealing a glimpse of her cleavage. The moment she offered a toast, every man's eyes widened. Old Wang smiled and drank a glass with her. That night, Su Qing drank a lot of alcohol for me. She seemed to have a high alcohol tolerance, or perhaps she was very good at social maneuvering. She drank quite a bit, but her cheeks were only slightly flushed and her eyes were even more unfocused. After the drinking party ended, Su Qing asked me to take her home. She had drunk quite a bit. She was swaying as she walked. I supported her. Her body was soft and warm, and she kept leaning against me. "Xiaoyu," she breathed softly in my ear, "your wife really cheated on you?" I don't know." I supported her, smelling the alcohol and perfume on her, my mind a jumbled mess. "Why should a man hang himself on one tree?" She chuckled, "Look at me, I'm divorced, but I'm still living a great life, aren't I?" They had arrived at her home. I helped her to the door, but she wouldn't let go. "Xiaoyu, come upstairs, have a cup of tea before you leave?" She looked up at me, her red lips slightly parted, her eyes dreamy. I looked at her face, so close to mine, and at the rise and fall of her chest. I admit, for a moment, I wavered. But what flashed through my mind was Zhou Jing's cold face. "Sister Su, it's getting late, you should get some rest." I pulled my hand away from hers. Su Qing paused for a moment, then smiled and said, "Okay, then be careful on the road." I fled as if I were running away. Even if I, Xiaoyu, want a divorce, I don't want to betray my marriage in this way at a time like this. Even if it is already defunct in name only. 7. On my way home, I received an unexpected phone call. "Hello, is this Xiaoyu?" The voice was soft and gentle, with a hint of probing. I was stunned for a few seconds before I realized, Lin Man? It was my ex-girlfriend, Lin Man. We were together in college, but broke up after graduation because of the long distance. She's the white moonlight in my heart that I've never been able to let go of. "It's me." She chuckled softly on the other end of the line, "I'm back in China. How have you been lately?" "I'm just so." I didn't know what to say. "And you? Why did you suddenly come back?" "Back to work." "When are you free? Should we meet up?" I hesitated. At this critical juncture, seeing my ex-girlfriend? "Xiaoyu? Are you not available?" She seemed to sense my hesitation. No. "Then, tomorrow night?" "Okay. I'll send you the address." After hanging up the phone, I felt a mix of emotions. Lin Man is back. When I was at my most vulnerable. The following evening, I went to the restaurant that Lin Man had booked, as agreed. It's a very quiet Western restaurant. When I arrived, Lin Man was already there. She sat by the window, wearing a white dress, her long hair flowing over her shoulders, quietly gazing out the window. She's still just as I remember her, pure and beautiful. When she saw me, she stood up and smiled at me. "Xiaoyu, long time no see. Haven't seen you for a long time." I pulled out a chair and sat down. After not seeing her for several years, she seemed unchanged, yet, she seemed to have gained a more mature charm. Her skin was fair and radiant, and her collarbones were delicate. We chatted about what we've been up to lately and reminisced about fun times in college. The atmosphere was relaxed, as if we had never been apart. "And you? Are you married and happy?" she asked casually, taking a sip of lemonade. My hand holding the cup paused. I gave a bitter laugh. "I'm getting a divorce soon." Lin Man was stunned, a hint of surprise flashing in her eyes, which then turned into surprise and heartache. "How could this be? You and your wife, weren't you doing just fine?" "It's a long story. I don't want to say more." "Zhao Yu." She suddenly reached out and covered the back of my hand. Her hands were soft and warm. "No matter what happens, don't be too hard on yourself," she whispered. "You are not alone." At that moment, the taut string in my heart suddenly snapped. Zhou Jing's indifference, Su Qing's hints, and Lao Wan's threats all came rushing in. I'm a grown man, and my eyes actually felt a little hot. "Lin Man, don't say anything, I understand." She patted my hand. "Eat something, it's getting cold." I ate that meal absent-mindedly. After the meal, Lin Man said she wanted to take a walk. We walked slowly along the riverbank. The evening breeze lifted her long hair, and her skirt fluttered, making her look like an elf. "Zhao Yu, if. She suddenly stopped and looked at me. "If you get divorced, will you consider me?" I stared at her in shock. "Lin Man, I haven't let you go yet." She looked me straight in the eye. "Over the years, I've tried, but I couldn't do it. I know it's not appropriate for me to say this now, but I don't want to miss out again." She leaned closer and stood on tiptoe. Her face loomed large before me, her trembling eyelashes, her moist eyes, and her slightly parted red lips. She wanted to kiss me. I almost lost control. I admit, I crave warmth and comfort. But reason held me back at the last moment. I turned my head away. Her kiss landed on my cheek. "Lin Man, I'm sorry." I pushed her away, my voice hoarse. I'm not divorced yet." Lin Man's eyes immediately reddened. "Let me take you home." I turned around awkwardly. 8. I took Lin Man back to her hotel. We didn't say a word the whole way. When they arrived at the hotel, she got out of the car without looking back. As I watched her slender figure disappear behind the revolving door, my heart ached. I drove around the streets for a long time. Go home? That icebox, I don't want to go back. I parked my car on the side of the road and smoked inside. I didn't get home until 3 a.m., reeking of cigarette smoke. The light in the entryway was on. I thought Zhou Jing was asleep. But as soon as I changed my shoes, I saw her come out of the master bedroom. She didn't sleep. She was wearing that purple silk nightgown, her hair was disheveled, and her face was frighteningly pale. She just stood there at the master bedroom door, staring intently at me. "Where did you go?" Her voice was even hoarser than mine. "None of your business." I said it in an annoyed tone. "Zhao Yu." She suddenly rushed over and grabbed my shirt collar. "Where did you get that perfume smell? Who did you go to see? Did you go to see your ex-girlfriend?" I was stunned. How did she know Lin Man? "You investigated me?" "Never mind how I know." She trembled with rage. "Zhao Yu, how disgusting are you? You suspect me of cheating while you're secretly meeting your ex-girlfriend? Are you even a man? Am I a man?" I laughed, exasperated, and flung her hand away. "Zhou Jing, what right do you have to talk to me like that? Where's your phone? Where's your gynecologist? You dare say you have nothing to do with him?" "Whatever my relationship with him is none of your business," she roared. "We're getting a divorce soon." "Divorce?" I sneered. "Dream on. Zhou Jing, let me tell you, I'm not getting a divorce. I'm going to drag this out until you're dead." I want to see how long your lover can wait. I don't know why I said such outrageous things. I'm just unwilling to accept it. How dare she betray me first and still act so self-righteous? Zhao Yu, you are shameless. Zhou Jing's tears streamed down her face. This is the first, no, the second time I've seen her cry. The last time was when her father passed away. She cried so sadly and desperately, her thin shoulders trembling. My heart clenched suddenly. I get out. She pointed to the door. Get out of here. I looked at her tear-streaked face, the face I once loved to the core, but now it was filled with hatred. My throat felt blocked, and I couldn't say a word. In the end, I grabbed the car keys, slammed the door, and left. I really can't stay in this house anymore. 9. After I rolled out of my house, I went straight to a hotel near the company. I need to calm down. It seems that Zhou Jing and I have truly reached the end. The next day, I didn't go to the company and sent Su Qing a message saying I wasn't feeling well. Su Qing returned the call quickly. Zhao Yu, what's wrong? Why does your voice sound so hoarse? Nothing, Sister Su, we had a fight, and maybe, we really are going to get a divorce. I lay sprawled on the bed, staring at the ceiling. There was a moment of silence on the other end. Where are you now? I'm coming to find you. No, Sister Su, I want to be alone. Zhao Yu. Su Qing's voice suddenly turned serious. It seems like Lao Wang has made some moves. He asked to meet me this afternoon and specifically asked you to come too. I feel he might have caught your wife doing something wrong. I sat up abruptly. What does he want to do? I guess he wants to use this to force you, or rather, force me to make concessions on the contract. Su Qing sighed. It's even possible that he had ulterior motives towards your wife. My mind went blank. With old Wang's greasy beer belly, I don't even want to think about letting him touch Zhou Jing. Sister Su, send me the address, I'll be right there. Your condition. I'm fine. After hanging up the phone, I rushed into the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face. No matter what happens between Zhou Jing and me, she is still my wife, and I can't let a scumbag like Lao Wang bully her. 10. The location is a high-end club. When I arrived, Su Qing was already there. She was dressed unexpectedly conservatively today, in a black business suit with the top button of her shirt fastened. Seeing me, she frowned worriedly. Zhao Yu, are you all right? I'm fine. Old Wang arrived quickly, still looking as greasy as ever. From the moment he entered, his eyes never left Su Qing. Oh dear, Manager Su, why are you dressed so conservatively today? This isn't like you at all. Su Qing smiled faintly. President Wang, we're here today to discuss serious business. Let's get down to business, no rush. Old Wang sat down and poured himself a cup of tea. Little Zhao, I heard you are getting a divorce? My heart sank. Su Qing spoke up before I could. Mr. Wang, your information is really unreliable. That young couple had a fight in bed but made up before they got out of bed, and they're doing great. Really? Old Wang gave me a meaningful look, took a brown paper bag out of his bag, and threw it on the table. Xiao Zhao, take a look at this first. I opened the paper bag with suspicion. Inside was a stack of photos. The photo shows Zhou Jing. She lay on the hospital bed, her face pale and her lips bloodless. There are a few more pictures of her with a man, the same man with the gold-rimmed glasses I saw last time. They were standing in the hospital corridor. The man was talking to her with his head down. Zhou Jing was crying. The man reached out and gently patted her shoulder. Their movements were proper, yet intimate. This is... My hands began to tremble. Does she look familiar? Old Wang smiled smugly. The Municipal Maternal and Child Health Hospital. Your wife just had a minor surgery there last month. He emphasized the words minor surgery. This is her lover, surnamed Feng, Dr. Feng. TSK, a gynecologist, he's got the advantage of being close to the source. My blood rushed to my head. You're talking fucking nonsense. I grabbed the photo and threw it at him. I'm talking nonsense? Old Wang wasn't angry. Zhao Yu, your wife is pregnant, did you know? The child isn't yours, she secretly got an abortion. You useless husband, you didn't even know you were being cheated on like this? Pregnant? Aborted? Not mine? I was completely stunned, like I'd been struck by lightning. Zhao Yu. Su Qing grabbed me. Calm down. Mr. Wang, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. What do you mean I'm saying whatever I want? Old Wang leaned back on the sofa. Manager Su, I don't like to talk nonsense. Lower the contract by another 5%. Otherwise, these photos will appear at Zhao Yu's company tomorrow, and Zhou Jing's company too. This is a blatant threat. Mr. Wang, this is extortion. Su Qing was so angry that her face turned pale. Say what you want. Old Wang shrugged. I'll give you half an hour to think it over. Manager Su, you can stay too. Let us get to know each other better. Maybe if I'm in a good mood, I'll just pretend this never happened. His small eyes brazenly scanned Su Qing's tight shirt. You're dreaming. Su Qing slammed her hand on the table and stood up. Zhao Yu. Just as I was about to make a move, Su Qing grabbed me tightly. She took a deep breath, shook her head at me, and then turned to old Wang and said, Mr. Wang, let's go outside and discuss this. She pulled me out of the private room. As soon as we stepped outside, Su Qing shook off my hand. Zhao Yu, are you crazy? Hitting him will solve everything? Then what should we do? Just let him bully Zhou Jing like this? I asked, my eyes red. Zhou Jing, Su Qing looked at me with a complicated expression. Zhao Yu, what he said, what if it's true? I was stunned. Yes. What if it's true? Zhou Jing is pregnant, but the child isn't mine, and she had an abortion. That Wind was her lover, the gynecologist. All of this seems to make sense. I slumped against the wall, feeling dizzy and disoriented. 11. Zhao Yu, pull yourself together. Su Qing shook my shoulder. Now is not the time for you to break down. That scumbag Lao Wang is capable of anything. I took a deep breath and forced myself to calm down. Sister Su, you go first. And what about you? I'll go back and talk to him. I wiped my face. At worst, I'll quit this job. I can't let him get away with this. What do you have to offer him? Su Qing grabbed me. If you go back now, you'll be walking into a trap. He'd love for you to make a move so he can call the police. Then what should I do? Delay it. Su Qing's eyes were firm. I'll go back and calm him down first. I'll tell him the contract needs to be approved by headquarters. You, go and find out what's going on right now. There's a hospital in the photos, right? Go check. How am I supposed to check? You're her husband. Go to the hospital and ask them. They'll have to give you some information. Su Qing shoved her car keys into my hand. Go quickly. I'll try to stall for time. I looked at Su Qing. She was clearly scared too, but she was still helping me. Sister Su, thank you. Stop talking nonsense, hurry up. I grabbed the keys and rushed out of the club. I drove Su Qing's car straight to the Municipal Maternal and Child Health Hospital. On the way, my mind was a complete mess. Zhou Jing is pregnant? How come I had no idea? If she really is pregnant, what was I doing during that time? I think I was busy with a big project, spending all my time at drinking parties, and going straight to bed when I got home. I think it's been almost 2 months since I last touched her. The car was parked in front of the hospital, but I didn't dare to get out. I'm scared. I'm afraid what Lao Wang said is true. I'm afraid that if I push open that door, what I'll find is a truth that will completely shatter me. I sat in the car for a full 10 minutes. Finally, I got off the bus. No matter what, I need to know the truth. 12. I wandered around the hospital lobby for ages before finally mustering up the courage to walk to the information desk. Hello, I would like to check my spouse's medical records. My voice is dry. What's your name? What's your ID number? The nurse asked without looking up. I gave Zhou Jing's name and ID number. The nurse typed a few words on the computer. Zhou Jing? She was hospitalized here last month. Gynecology, miscarriage. Miscarriage. My vision went black, and I almost lost my balance. Did she come alone? I asked, my voice trembling. We don't know that. The medical record says miscarriage. The nurse glanced at me with a strange look in her eyes. Are you her husband? You didn't know she had such a serious miscarriage? I lowered my head awkwardly. I was away on a business trip. Snort. The nurse snorted coldly. The family member who signed the document was a man named Feng Qi. Feng Qi. That's the phone. He's my wife's cousin. I made up a reason. Dr. Feng, does he work here? Dr. Feng? The nurse was taken aback. Oh, you mean Director Feng? Yes, he's the director of our department. He's very skilled and kind. Director? And gentle? My anger flared up again. Can I see him? Director Feng is off today. Is there anything I can help you with? I've come to thank him on behalf of my spouse. All right, then come again tomorrow. I walked out of the hospital, feeling utterly lost and disoriented. Miscarriage. Family members sign, Feng Qi. All of this points to the worst possible outcome. Zhou Jing has truly betrayed me. I sat on the flower bed at the hospital entrance. It was already dark. The phone rang. It was Su Qing. How is it? Sister Su, it's true. She miscarried. The man signed the papers. There was silence on the other end of the phone. Zhao Yu. After a long silence, Su Qing finally spoke. What do you plan to do? I don't know. I looked at the feet going back and forth on the ground. Sister Su, what about Lao Wang? I've calmed him down. I told him the contract needs to go through the process and to wait a couple of days. Su Qing sighed. Zhao Yu, come back first. We'll figure out a solution later. No. I stood up. Sister Su, I'm going to confront Zhou Jing tonight. I need to get to the bottom of this with her. Don't be impulsive. I'm not impulsive. I hung up the phone and took a taxi home. This time, I must, and I absolutely need, an answer. 13. When I got home, the house was pitch black. Zhou Jing is not here. I called her, but her phone was off. I sat on the sofa and waited. She didn't come back even after we waited until late at night. I frantically sent her WeChat messages and called her. There was no response. Where did she go? Did she go to find that Feng Qi? The more I think about it, the more scared and angry I get. I rushed into the master bedroom, opened her closet, and pulled out all her clothes. I need to find evidence. WeChat chat history? She must have deleted it. I searched high and low, and finally found a locked diary in the bottom drawer of her bedside table. I don't have the key. I ran to the kitchen, grabbed a screwdriver, and pried open the lock. With trembling hands, I opened the diary. I started keeping a diary about 6 months ago. At first, it was all just trivial work-related matters. Gradually, complaints began to arise. Zhao Yu has drunk too much again. He reeks of alcohol. I had my prenatal checkup today, and the doctor said the baby is very healthy. Zhao Yu didn't come with me again. He said he was busy with his project. Prenatal checkup? Baby? My eyes widened as I continued reading. My morning sickness is so bad, I throw up everything I eat. Zhao Yu still doesn't know. I don't dare tell him. I'm afraid it will distract him. I fell today and my stomach hurts a lot. I can't get through to Zhao Yu on the phone. Xiao Yu, I'm so scared, baby is gone. Zhao Yu, where are you? The doctor said my emotions are very unstable, and I will become depressed if this continues. He introduced me to Dr. Feng. Dr. Feng is a very nice person. He advised me to go out more. Dr. Feng said that what I needed was to vent, not to suppress it. He encouraged me to tell everything. I hate Zhao Yu. I hate that he was never there when I needed him the most. I filed for divorce. He thought I was cheating on him. He actually suspected me. Well, whatever. This concludes my diary entry. The diary in my hand fell to the ground. What have I done? Zhou Jing is pregnant. When she was heavily pregnant, although it was only in the early stages, I was out socializing. She fell, she miscarried, and when she needed me most, I was drinking with clients. Feng Qi wasn't her lover, he was her therapist. The photo Lao Wang gave me was of Feng Qi comforting her after her miscarriage. And me, I'm such a bastard, such a useless piece of trash, I even doubted her, cursed her, and forced her to leave with nothing. I slapped myself hard. The loud smack echoed in the empty room. Tears welled up uncontrollably. I'm a 30-year-old man, and I'm crying like an idiot. 14. I don't know how long I cried. I got up just before dawn and washed my face with cold water. I need to go find Zhou Jing. I have to go and beg her for forgiveness. I rushed out of the house, got in my car, and drove like a madman to the Municipal Maternal and Child Health Hospital. Feng Qi. I have to find Feng Qi. Zhou Jing must be with him. I stormed into the hospital and went straight to the head of the gynecology department's office. The door wasn't locked. I pushed the door open and went in. Feng Qi was sitting inside looking at medical records. He saw me and paused for a moment. Hello, may I ask you? Where's Zhou Jing? I rushed over and grabbed his collar. Where did you hide Zhou Jing? Xiao Yu? Feng Qi frowned and pushed me away. Calm down. This is a hospital. I can't calm down. My eyes were red. Tell me, where is Zhou Jing? Zhou Jing, she had an emotional breakdown last night. I just gave her a sedative. She fell asleep in my break room. Feng Qi sighed. Zhao Yu, is this how you act as a husband? I was speechless. Come with me. He led me to the lounge next door. Zhou Jing lay on the small bed, fast asleep, with tear stains still on the corners of her eyes. Her face was as pale as paper, and she was so thin she was almost unrecognizable. My heart is breaking. How is she? I asked, my voice trembling. Not good. Feng Qi's expression was very serious. After her miscarriage, she has been prone to depression. Last night you upset her so much. Zhao Yu, do you know that she almost? He didn't finish his sentence, but I understood. My legs went weak and I almost knelt down. Dr. Feng, I was wrong. I'm a bastard, I'm not human. I stammered, please save her. Feng Qi looked at me for a long time, then shook his head. The one who can save her is not me, but you. However, judging from your appearance, you probably can't save her either. What do you mean? Zhao Yu, Zhou Jing, she doesn't love you anymore. Feng Qi said calmly, she only hates you now. What you did last night was the last straw that broke her back. No. She's awake, why don't you talk to her? Feng Qi patted my shoulder. I've already contacted a nursing home abroad for her. Her flight is this afternoon. You, take care of yourself. Feng Qi walked out, leaving us the space. I walked to the bedside, squatted down, and held Zhou Jing's cold hand. Jing. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Zhou Jing's eyelashes trembled, and she slowly opened her eyes. When she saw me, there was no surprise, no anger in her eyes, only a deathly stillness. What are you doing here? She pulled her hand away. Jing, I saw your diary. I was wrong, I was really wrong. I choked back tears. Don't go, don't leave me. Let's start over, okay? Start over? Zhou Jing laughed, a laugh more painful than tears. Zhao Yu, how can we start over? Will you give me back my child? I felt as if I had been struck by lightning. Zhao Yu, we can't go back. She sat up and wrapped the blanket around herself tighter. The divorce papers are already signed. They're on the table in the living room. You can have the house and the car. I just want my things. I don't want anything. I don't want anything. I just want you. I grabbed her shoulders. Let go of me. She pushed me away forcefully. Zhao Yu, don't make me despise you even more. It's over between us a long time ago. It was over when you were spending all your time at drinking parties, when I went to my prenatal checkup alone, and when I fell and bled and called you but you didn't answer. She got out of bed and put on her shoes. Dr. Feng is waiting for me, I should go now. She opened the door without turning around. Zhou Jing! I roared. She stopped in her tracks, but did not turn around. Zhao Yu, forget about me. The door closed. I collapsed to the ground and wailed. 15. I don't know how I left the hospital. I returned to that empty house. Sure enough, there was a divorce agreement on the coffee table in the living room. Zhou Jing's signature was crisp and clean. She didn't want the house, the car, or the savings. She really didn't want anything anymore. I sit on the sofa, and I can sit there all day long. In the evening, I received a call from Su Qing. Zhao Yu? Are you still alive? Sister Su. I've heard about it. Su Qing sighed, I've taken care of old Wang's side. Is it resolved? I called the police. Su Qing's tone was calm. Extortion? He's in deep trouble. I don't want my job anymore, this kind of company isn't worth it. I was stunned. Su Qing, for me. Sister Su, I. Zhao Yu, don't thank me. It wasn't all for you. I've wanted to teach that scumbag Lao Wang a long time ago. Su Qing paused for a moment. Are you all right? I'm not all right. I gave a wry smile. I know. Zhao Yu, let's go out for a drink. It's on me. I don't refuse. Just consider it keeping this unemployed person company for a farewell drink. I met Su Qing at the bar. She changed out of her business attire and into a red halter dress with a low neckline, revealing a large expanse of her fair skin. She wore heavy makeup, her red lips like fire. Sister Su, you what? Don't you recognize me? She raised her glass to me. From today onwards, there is no manager Su, only Su Qing. She tilted her head back and gulped down a large mouthful of wine. Sister Su, you don't need to, I told you, it's not all for you. She interrupted me, her eyes a little red, I've had enough too. Zhao Yu, we're both people who've been fucked up by life. She filled my glass with wine. Come on, let's drink. Tonight, we won't leave until we're drunk. That night, we drank a lot. I told you everything about Zhou Jing and me, from falling in love to suspicion, and then to the truth. Su Qing listened quietly, occasionally having a drink with me. Zhao Yu, you're a complete idiot. She concluded. Yes, I'm a big idiot. I lay face down on the table. However, Su Qing poked my face with her finger. It's never too late to admit your mistakes and correct them. Although Zhou Jing is not coming back. I know. Then you have to look forward. She leaned closer to me, her warm breath on my face, carrying the scent of wine and her own unique fragrance. Zhao Yu, look at me, how do I look? I looked up, my eyes blurry with drunkenness. Under the lights, her cheeks were flushed, and her eyes were both dreamy and bold. Her red lips were so close to mine, full and alluring. Sister Su, you've had too much to drink. I didn't drink too much. She chuckled. Zhao Yu, I've wanted to get to know you better for a long time. Your aloof wife doesn't want you, but I do. As she spoke, she suddenly leaned in and kissed my lips. Her lips were soft and hot, with the spiciness of strong liquor. My mind went blank, and all my reason crumbled in that kiss. I reached behind her and held the back of her head, deepening the kiss. Screw the past. Screw Zhou Jing. I want to start over. 16. The next day, I woke up in a large bed in the hotel. The sunlight was blinding. I was still hungover and had a splitting headache. Beside her was Su Qing's sleeping face. She wasn't wearing makeup, but her skin was still great, and her slightly trembling eyelashes cast a faint shadow on her face. The blanket slipped halfway down, revealing her rounded shoulders and undulating curves. Last night's madness is slowly returning to my mind. I sighed and gently got up. I can't say I regret it. Adult men and women, mutual consent. Su Cheng is a good woman. She is sexy, intelligent, and loyal. But I know that in my heart, I still have the woman who left me. I got dressed and left a note on the bedside table. Sister Su, thank you. I'll handle the company matters. Then I left. I went back to the company and submitted my resignation. Old Wang's affair caused a huge uproar, shaking the company's upper management. Although Su Qing had left, the mess she made was enough to give them a hard time. After completing the handover, I left the office building where I had worked for 5 years. Feeling completely relaxed. I sold the house, split the money in half, and anonymously transferred it to Zhou Jing's best friend's bank account. I knew she wouldn't take my money, so this was the only way. Then, I bought a plane ticket to Tibet. I want to go to that place closest to the sky to cleanse my filthy soul. 17. I spent 6 months in Tibet. Every day consisted of hiking, trekking around mountains, and sunbathing. I turned off my phone and cut off all contact with everyone. The sun on the plateau was intense. I got tan and thin, and even grew a beard. Once, I unexpectedly met Lin Man in a small tavern in Lhasa. She also came to travel. When she saw me, she was so surprised that she couldn't speak for a long time. Xiao Yu? What happened to you? You look like this? I grinned at her. Am I handsome? She chuckled. Handsome, like a wild man. We sat together and drank. She asked me about my experiences over the past 6 months. I said it casually. Then, do you still hate her? She asked cautiously. I shook my head. I don't hate her anymore. I'm the one who wronged her. I just hope she can be happy. She will be fine. Lin Man picked up her wine glass. And you? When are you planning to go back? I'm not going back. I like it here. Zhao Yu. Lin Man looked at me and said, I am still the same as before. I know what she means. I smiled and raised my glass. Lin Man, let's toast. She paused for a moment, then smiled and said, okay, let's toast it. We are all relieved. Some things are destined to remain only in our memories. 18. 6 months later, I returned to that familiar city. It's not for any other reason than that my mother is sick. When I arrived at the hospital, my mother had already undergone surgery and was recovering. Mom, why didn't you tell me sooner? Why should I tell you? So you could fly back from Tibet? My mom rolled her eyes at me. I'm fine. But you, what happened to you? You look like this? Only then did I remember that I was still covered in stubble. I quickly shaved and cut my hair. The man in the mirror was darker and thinner, but his eyes seemed clearer than before. I stayed with my mother at the hospital every day during her hospital stay. One day, I saw a familiar figure from behind in the hospital corridor. That figure from behind, it's Zhou Jing. She had also lost weight, and was wearing a white knitted sweater with light blue yoga pants. The yoga pants perfectly accentuated the curves of her legs and corgi-like buttocks. She seemed to be more beautiful than before, and she possessed a tranquility that I couldn't quite understand. Was she also here for a medical checkup? My heart skipped a beat, and I was about to go up to her. A man walked up to her. It was the wind that started. He was holding 2 cups of coffee and handed her one. He naturally put his arm around Zhou Jing's shoulder. Zhou Jing did not dodge. She looked up at him and smiled. That was a smile I hadn't seen on her face for a very, very long time. Relaxed, radiant, and heartfelt. They look really good together. I stopped in my tracks. My heart still aches. But more than anything, I feel relieved. She's doing well, and that's enough. I turned around and quietly left. 19. After my mother was discharged from the hospital, I found a new job. I'm no longer in sales. I went to work as a team leader at a cycling club. I like the feeling of being on the road. Life seems to be back on track. One day, I was leading my team back from a cycling trip when the club owner stopped me. "Zhao Yu, someone is looking for you." I walked into the office and froze. It's Su Qing. She cut her hair short, which made her look more capable. She was wearing a tight-fitting cycling outfit with the zipper pulled low, revealing large patches of tan skin. Her figure is even hotter than before. "Hi." She raised an eyebrow at me. "How's the new job going?" Su Qing?" I stammered. "What brings you here?" "I'm here for the job interview." She pointed outside. "Are you guys looking for a landlady?" I was both amused and exasperated. "Sister Su, you must be joking." "Who's joking with you?" She walked over and looked me up and down. "You're darker, stronger, and much more pleasing to the eye than that loser you used to be." She patted my chest muscles. They're pretty firm." "I Zhao Yu." She stopped smiling and looked at me seriously. "I own an outdoor sports company right next to yours. I've heard that you're single, and so am I." She leaned closer to me, her red lips almost touching my ear. "How about we try again? This time, we won't talk about work, we'll just talk about romance." I looked into her bright eyes and the slightly upturned corners of her mouth. I could smell the mixture of sweat and sunshine on her body. Damn, it was so tempting. I laughed. "Okay." I reached out and put my arm around her waist. Her waist was so slim and bouncy, it felt so good that it almost made me lose control. However, I whispered in her ear, "This time, I won't let go." Su Qing's face flushed red, and her moist eyes held a hint of allure. "That depends on whether your kidneys are okay."